Hi, my name's Esther. I'm from the Sydney String Centre, and today I'm going to be answering some commonly asked questions about our rental program. So one of the main reasons why you would consider renting rather than purchasing is just for the flexibility. Sometimes it's hard to know if your child is going to take it up with both hands and run with it for years and years and years, or whether they're just going to give it up after a couple weeks. So renting is a good way to just try the waters a little bit and see whether they're going to enjoy it. It's good if you're an adult beginner too, because sometimes we don't know whether we really have time for the commitment in our schedule, and this way you can just commit to it for 3 months and see how you go. The other thing is with sizing, when the kids are growing, they don't always fit neatly into little size boxes, and so they might just be using it for 6 months and then moving on to the next size, particularly if they could have started a year ago on that size. So it's a good way of just being able to switch it over anytime whenever the kids are ready, and you don't have to worry about another big outlay of money. Budgeting is another reason why you might consider renting. If you're like me and live on a budget, it can be helpful just to know that at the end of every 3 months there's going to be another payment due, just a small payment, rather than a large payment every year to 18 months. And so for me that would work quite well. It's also going to be insured for accidental damage, which is a big advantage if you're a little bit clumsy or if your child is likely to do something accidentally. There are a few exceptions, some things that aren't going to be covered, but for most little accidents they're going to be covered and you won't be surprised by a big bill. So in our rental pool we have quite a variety of different instruments, but they're all good quality student instruments, and the most common one that's in there is this one, the Chrysler 120. They're a nice instrument because they've got a very warm, pleasant, easy to listen to sort of sound even before your child has much technique going. It's certainly not going to be a big, bold, bright sound that's going to sound great with an advanced player, but it's a really nice beginner instrument because it is easy to listen to and it's easy to make a nice sound out of. The instrument will come with a case, bow, a bit of rosin, and the full professional setup. But it's not going to come with a shoulder rest or a shoulder pad, so you may need to get one of them when you start. So it is a little bit difficult for us to tell how long your child is going to be on a particular size. Kids grow in spurts, they don't grow nice and evenly, so it makes it hard for us to predict. But generally speaking, on the smaller sizes, so from about an 8 size and down, the kids are on them from about a year to 18 months, but on the quarter size and up, they can be on them for 18 months to 2 years, sometimes a little bit longer if they're having a bit of a slow patch in their growing. Sometimes as well, if they're just starting out, they might come in kind of halfway through a size, in which case they might even only get about 6 months. Yes, at this point you probably are going to need to come into the store to rent. We don't kind of have an online rental option at the moment. You'll need to come in and bring some identification and bring a credit card for ongoing payments. You won't need to come back into the store every time to renew it. We can just roll it over for you and you'll get a little reminder via email just letting you know when that's coming up. So the insurance is pretty good. It covers accidental damage and it covers theft from a secure location. If it gets stolen from a secure location, you just need to get a police report and we can claim it on our insurance. But if it's an unsecured place like an unlocked car, unfortunately, then it won't be covered. Accidental damage includes anything like I was walking along and just dropped it and it broke. Just bring it straight into us and we'll sort it out. The things that are not covered are things like breaking strings, because if you over tighten them, they're just going to snap, and unfortunately the insurance company doesn't want to pay for those. So you just need to bring it into us, pay for a new string, and we'll gladly fit it for you. Also, malicious damage is not going to be covered, so if you etch your name in the back of the violin because you really love it, unfortunately it's now yours, and you would need to pay for the balance of the instrument. It's also not going to be covered for heat and water damage. So heat damage is like if it gets left in a hot car, even for 20 minutes, that's enough for the heat to increase in your car so much that it starts to damage the instrument. So make sure you never leave it in a car. And damp on the other end of the scale. If you've got a bit of mold in the house, just don't store it in moldy corners or moldy closets because the glue's water soluble and it can all just start coming apart. So one of the advantages of our rental program is that you can actually use your first 3 months rent towards purchasing a new instrument. That unfortunately doesn't include the one that you're renting. That one's just going to go back into our rental pool and somebody else can try the violin. but you can use your first 3 months rent towards buying perhaps the next size or a different brand, and that just gives you a few more options when you're coming to purchase. The only other things you may want to consider getting while you're here is a music stand, just to save your posture, a cleaning cloth to wipe off the violin each time after you've been playing, or perhaps a book. Your teacher may have recommended something, but if they haven't, then we can make a suggestion of what might be appropriate. That's the end of our video on the rental program. If you have any other questions, just give us a call or hop on our website, and thank you for watching.